the head coach of the Skyridge boys. As always, presented by Heidemann Associates, brought to you by NutriCost. Use the code UTAHMADE to get 30% off of your supplements on NutriCost.com. As I mentioned, I use their amino acids, I use their creatine, I use their protein, and also their trimethylglycine, or also known as TMG. But our
stuff, I don't use any of that stuff. I'm just an old man with an old man body.
But now you get better, and you can be Utah Made by Utah Made Company.
But I love Min, who's the owner of
Yes.
NutriCost. He's one of the great supporters of youth sports, and so, Min, if you're out there, we love you. Hope you're doing well.
And Min Kim is absolutely terrific. But our matchup this afternoon is Lone Peak and Corner Canyon. Not on the football field, but on the basketball floor. The winner moves on to the 6A championship game to take on the number 1 seeded Copper Hills Grizzlies. And Coach, first, Lone Peak, back-to-back state champs. Nancy Warner does an amazing job, and this team is extremely good.
Lone Peak, they've got everything. They've got the big girl in the middle. They got good guards. They've got shooters. They guard. Defensively, they're really good. I think it's a special team for Lone Peak.
Well, it certainly is. And for Corner Canyon, they're the 7th seed. Only the second 7th seed to make it to the semifinals. It's their first time back to the semifinals since Kemery Martine's senior year, where they went to the championship game and lost to Junior Solo V and East. As it is Mortensen jumping it up with Sarah Bartholomew. It'll be controlled first by Lone Peak and the Knights. Shawnee Nordstrom, Sarah.
Little 1-3-1, Dusty.
And try to get that ball in the corner right against 1-3-1 as Kennedy Woolston goes to baseline and scores.
You know, that looks like a good answer to me. Get it to your best girl in the corner, and Kennedy drives and scores. I always like against the 1-3-1 diagonal passes. I think if you can make the defense have to go to one side to the other, it makes it tough on it.
Down the floor with Corner Canyon. They knocked off Davis on Monday night.
Nancy Warner's defense has been superb, and her strategy a lot of the season, at least the games with Skyridge that I watched, a lot of pressure in the 2-3 zone with Bartholomew back in the middle, just clogging up anything you get by him. Makes it really hard to score.
Of course, Nancy Warner, not only one of the best coaches in the history of the state of Utah, she's one of the best women's players in the history of the state of Utah. Was Miss Basketball is inside Sarah Bartholomew, the pass from Nayatanu Vasa, and it's 4-0 Lone Peak.
There's that diagonal pass right on cue.
But there's Maya Ray, nobody home on that pass, and it goes out of bounds. And you see this Corner Canyon team, they fell down early against Davis and then able to battle their way back. Maya Ray was an absolute star. Actually was texting with a college coach in the middle of that game and said, hey, if you watched Maya Ray, and she responded back, I'm watching your stream. Yes, I'm watching her. I was like, you got to get her. Like, go get this girl. And so hopefully she's reached out by now.
Yeah, she can play. That was to come out in the quarterfinals and lead her team. Almost a triple-double, right?
Yeah. And had a couple chase down blocks as Nayatanu Vasa knocks down the 3.
I got to stop with Naya. My daughter, Brooke, was a soccer player, all-state soccer player at Skyridge, and I thought Naya Tanavasa was the best soccer player we played against all season. She's incredible on the soccer pitch, if you will, and obviously on the court as well.
Yeah, and first team all-state on the state champion Lone Peak Knights. She's won 3 titles in her time in high school, almost like Jeff Gardner when he was at Mountain View.
We won back-to-back. My sophomore year, I think Bountiful beat us by 100. We'll have to look at it was at least 45-10 at halftime. Mike Maxwell is out there. They ended up winning the state championship. They had Big Peterson kid in the middle, and they had Kilgore, and Spence Checketts was on that team. Spence Checketts, though, was not someone we were concerned about. It was more Kilgore and Peterson, and that they ran that full court press. We had 3 sophomores starting. Oh, look at that back door.
Beautiful. Kennedy can't get it. Rebound to Kaylee Rich. Blocked away by Sorrell Nielsen, and they'll have a foul along the baseline. And
Katie Lawrence, an unsung hero for Lone Peak. She was a soccer goalie in her youth, and she just plays with great instincts on the court.
She's a great passer.
Finds the open person.
Nayatanu Vasa, back rim on the 3. Rebound to Sarah Bartholomew. Back into Naya. Jackknife it up and in. Nayatanu Vasa, we talked about this year, and this is meant as an absolute compliment. She is the most improved player in the state of Utah.
No, she's good. She could play college in both of these sports. I don't know.
She's going to BYU.
In soccer or
Football. Or football. Basketball.
basketball?
Her brothers play football. Her brother played football here at the University of Utah. And as that ball tipped down on the run with Naya. Naya in the lane, going to jump it up, and it goes in and out. Addie Yeomans came out to contest that.
You know, corner's got to get that first basket. I think, you know, as a coach, you're sitting there, just got to get on the board, get something positive.
Oh, nice hands there by Shawnee Nordstrom. Maybe knock that away. Shawnee on the run. Looper with her. Shawnee scoop it up and score it. The future Cal Baptist basketball player goes coast to coast after the steal. She's been doing this for 4 years.
Cal Baptist, she's got to be one of the first girls basketball players from Utah to go to Cal Baptist. I don't think I've ever heard of a. I wonder
shocked,
her connection there.
I was shocked she got out of the state of Utah. Because I thought for sure there'd be. Were offers.
What's your take on that last play? I see a foul there on that cut, and the girl kind of comes through her. Is that a play on?
I like a play on. I have actually very much enjoyed, Coach, the way that they have made an exclusion of maybe one call this week, which I
heard you. Skyridge, Syracuse.
I got a little fired up.
I was home doing the dishes with your stream on while I was. We had some Bantam things I had to do, and you got fired up.
It's been a long time since I've gotten that mad on a broadcast. Is there a loose ball? Woolston leaves it back. I'm glad you were watching, Coach.
Knock it down, Katie.
Katie sends that back out to Shawnee Nordstrom. Shawnee leaves it out for Naya Tanuvasa. Then try to get it out to Shawnee, taken away by Yeomans.
It's interesting. We were commenting last night watching the BYU-Kansas game. The game is called tighter at the college level than the high school level. Like, you know.
By far.
You watch you get in college, you touch and there are fouls, and a lot of the high schools play on, which depends on how physical my team is, whether I like that or not.
Kenzie Randall gets called for the foul on that second attempt to get the ball back. Let's go through our officials here in Game 2 of the day.
Lynn Hone is one of the real good officials. He's on the baseline. I don't know who the other two are.
Lynn Hone, Barry Beveridge, and Lacey Andreasen.
Oh, backdoor.
Shawnee Nordstrom been doing that for 3 years at Lone Peak. A 4-year varsity player, played her freshman year at Bingham before her family moved to Cedar Hills. And has won back-to-back titles as a sophomore and junior. One of my favorite players, Coach, I've covered. Shawnee Nordstrom is so instinctive, does such great things, and she and Kaylee Woolston, one of the best 1-2 punches at the girls' side I've seen.
So last year, Shawnee in the state championship against my Falcons, Skyridge had him on the ropes, and she hit a shot from the moon.
Mm-hmm.
That there was about 3.5 minutes left, and I think we were either ahead or it was tied, and she hit that long three that gave Lone Peak the momentum in the game. And I obviously have been here watching Skyridge and Coach Shay Nilsson. If she's not consideration for Coach of the Year, with all the injuries and adversity to take that Skyridge team and from the ashes,
right?
Mid-season, it looked like bleak, and she just stuck with it. Has a great culture. I think, and I apologize to the Lone Peak faithful who may disagree, but I think Coach Nilsson's one of the top. I would say the top coaches in the state. She's fantastic.
She's right up there. She's our reigning 6A Coach of the Year.
Okay, so you've rewarded her.
She joked with us that it was the first time she beat Nancy Warner. And there's a steal to Sarah Bartholomew as she leaves that back for Shawnee.
I mean, Sarah's 6'4", and she plays like she's 5'9", the way she
moves around.
Handles it, moves, and steals. And I think of all those Lone Peak girls, I've seen a lot of improvement in her just in a year watching her develop.
Well, even this year, I think this team without Kaylee Woolston and without without Ika, they had to figure themselves out. And it took them a bit. And they played a really tough schedule pre-region and took a couple losses in-state for the first time in almost 3 years as Shawnee Nordstrom thought she'd get the foul and did. So put Shawnee at the line. And it's part of that, too, was from Sarah Bartholomew just becoming a little more aggressive offensively. And you saw that in the quarterfinals. They were, I don't want to say on the ropes, but they were getting dinged up. And then she made big plays down the stretch. So I completely agree with you, Coach. And Shawnee knocks down the first. And, of course, I get to see Lone Peak girls a lot. We do all the games, as you know. You're part of our network, for heaven's sakes.
Hey, we wouldn't have it any other way. We love KSL Rewind, and Is we still call it KSL Rewind?
KSL Sports Rewind, yep.
But we love having them. You know, the exposure our kids get with the stream and our parents and families away are able to catch the games, a huge bonus for our program.
We love it, and like I said, we do Mompete boys and girls, as Maya Ray can't get that
rebound.
one. Lena Mortensen, and one for Lena Mortensen. Lena Mortensen is a 1,000-point club member, joined it this season. And she gets the board and the bucket, a little double stuff opportunity, and a chance to get a three-point play.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, BYU volleyball, correct?
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I love to see a volleyball girl playing basketball. I know there's a lot of pressure. You got to go club year round. You can't, to see her
it's nonsense.
succeeding on the court, and to think that the experience of being in the semis and the leadership she's gaining from this isn't going to help her be a better player, I think is not correct. So I'm glad to see her out having such a great career.
Major misnomer. 30-second timeout is a Utah Facial Plastics timeout. Utah Facial Plastics. Look, if we always say on the court and on the field, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. And the same thing in life. If you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you're better at your job. You're better as a parent. You're better. A lot of times as a human being, it can help you mentally and all those different things too. And one of the big things for guys are two big things. Number one is hair loss. You're worried about hair loss and everything else. Hair restoration is a big part of what they do at Utah Facial Plastics. The other, and one I've been pushing now, I'm not the best person to have it on there, but I turned 40, Coach. I got this little wisdom line right there. It was getting too deep. I didn't like it. Dr. Doug Henstrom at a Christmas party was like, hey, I'll take care of that.
Hey,
we went Brotox across that line, and man, I felt so much better after. We go to Utah Facial Plastics, 801-960-3137.
Your sponsors aren't going to love me because I don't do any of this stuff. I just sit and watch film and yell at refs, but I could use some work on my face. I really could. I definitely could use some Botox.
No, Barthel, we can't get that. Yeah, I was skeptical, and Doug said, "Hey, let's do this. I think you're gonna like it." And I said, "Well, now you got to be a sponsor." They've jumped in a couple times.
I love that timeout, 16-3. You get that first bucket on the board. Something positive to talk about. Obviously you're just on the Corner Canyon side. You're just trying to keep this in reach and not let it totally spiral here. And I thought that was a good time to use a timeout and try to regroup.
Maya Ray going to get the foul.
Hey, how about that Jim Barker sighting on the?
Oh, awesome, right?
Oh my gosh, Jim Barker is a legend. I think people underappreciate how good of a basketball coach Jim Barker is at Alta all those years. Yep. We were at Brighton, and it was always – that team was always well coached. And now to see his daughter hit that three broke my heart. But that was a big-time three to get Copper Hills. That in a one-point game, you hit a three, and it just totally changed everything.
Yeah, and she's a junior. Skylie will be back next year, and Jim, that's why he's on the bench. Funny, I saw he and Coach Timpson, after the last game, the quarterfinals, is they're going to have a foul. It's going to put Corner Canyon at the line. Or never mind, I'll be on the baseline. I'm called on the floor. But I saw them, hey, good to see you back on the sidelines. And he kind of laughed. But now he's in jeans. I mean, that's a little different from Coach Barker.
Come on, Jim. No jeans. He was casual before casual was a thing. I was wearing a shirt and tie.
Yeah.
Jim's over there in a polo. He was always pretty casual, so I'm sure as soon as he saw, Reno Mahe's in a hat and a beanie and so I'm sure once Jim saw that he could get away with it.
I'll get to see my last text message I sent to Reno. He didn't respond. I thought it was really funny. It was in the middle of the game at Lehigh in the regular season.
Great move. Are you
nice
kidding
move,
me?
Kennedy Woolston.
Gosh.
Hey, we got to send a congratulations out to Kaylee Woolston. Got her mission call last night to Baltimore, Maryland. She's the possible freshman of the year in the Big 12, and she's going to leave, go on a mission.
That's awesome. I actually saw that somehow showed up on my feed.
I think probably because you may have went for you, and I liked it and everything. At least I believe you follow me on the X
Dusty,
app.
You better do it. You're on that Fab 5 list I got.
The ball slapped out of bounds. Well, that means I got to stop using certain words on that. Now I know you're following me on there. Out of bounds off of Sorrell Nielsen.
I don't love your Raiders stuff. Sometimes make me want to mute you. But for the most part, I think you take your Raiders stuff out. And
Yeah.
I went to a Raiders game this year.
You
To
did.
see the Broncos. My Broncos, I dressed in disguise. I didn't want anyone in Las Vegas to know I was cheering for the Broncos because they're so bad. Look at this 2-3 extended like it is. I think you got to find the high post and make Bartholomew come up a little bit, but it's hard. Easier set up here than done when you got Tanavasa and Katie with just active. And I always judge a defense by how active they are. And this Lone Peak team is very active.
They get after defensively.
Every pass is contested, every shot.
Mortensen misses the 3, rebound taken by Randall. And she lost the handle trying to dribble along the baseline. Kind of tough spot. You get that ball on the baseline because the throw out to 3 is really difficult, one. And then trying to dribble, you're in such tight quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, the baseline, you got to be a really sharp with your game if you're going to get the ball down there, especially with Lone Peak's size. Just you got long arms and bodies you're having to deal with.
Inside to Bartholomew. Sari, that's a traveling violation. She left her feet. That was good defense by Corner Canyon. So turnover on Lone Peak. 3.6 seconds left in the quarter. Going to be catch, couple dribbles, and a heave. Probably from Maya Ray.
Vince, can we get a close-up on the Corner Canyon shoes? I saw
they're good.
My friend Rob Gertzen was tweeting about the shoes. I'm curious what we got going on there. Definitely a colorful team shoe.
There's a 3 on the way from Randall, a little long, and that'll do it for the first quarter. At the end of 1, it is Lone Peak 21, Corner Canyon 4. Lone Peak looking to get back to the state championship game for the 3rd consecutive year. You're watching the 2024 6A semifinals presented by Heidemann Associates, brought to you by NutriCost. We'll be back with the second quarter after this.
This is apple cider vinegar from NutriCost. This is apple cider vinegar from another leading brand. NutriCost has 500 milligrams of apple cider vinegar. So does this other brand. NutriCost is third-party tested, non-GMO, and gluten-free. This other brand? Well, we're not sure. NutriCost is also available at a great price delivered right to your door. NutriCost has over 500 different products for health and wellness. NutriCost, only what you need.
Welcome back into the Hudson Center. Dusty Litster, Coach Jeff Gardner with you. Let's go to our trivia question. This has become a great rivalry in other sports. What is the series record for basketball? Man, Dane Stewart just painting the corner on that. And not even like Greg Maddox 91, 92 miles an hour stuff. I mean, that is prime Randy Johnson stuff.
Knock it down.
Maya Ray for 3. Good for Maya. You love seeing someone, they have a great game, bounce it, come right back with another one.
You know, Maya got the good look there, sometimes a good look, and you knock one down, you get a little confidence. She's got to offensively go to work this quarter. And
backdoor, Tanuvasa, no, rebound. And now a jump ball. Shawnee Nordstrom able to get in there and get the jump ball.
Lone Peak's impressive, just their ability to take care of the ball and not turn it over. And the more shots you get up, the more you're going to make.
As that inbound was, she had not established. She had not established herself inbounds. Let's see. Shawnee usually very heady. Yeah, that was really close, actually. But yeah, that both feet down. Maybe she only had one.
I like Corner Canyon's adjustment. They've got a little horns high double ball screen trying to free up those girls up top to pass and you know, get a little bit more movement.
And the jumper on the way from Mortensen. Long rebound, put back up. No for Yeomans on the rebound and run out with Woolston. Kennedy gonna widen out. Rich. There's Naya, step through, can't finish, and the rebound to Mortensen, a loose ball foul on Sarah Bartholomew. You know, I think one of the good opportunities for Corner Canyon, or probably Lone Peak this year, was they went and played at the Holiday Hoop Fest at Lehigh. And they got to play against, I think, potentially, and I tweeted this not long because I wanted it documented, the next Caitlin Clark, potentially, Aaliyah Chavez out of Lubbock, Texas, Monterey High School. That girl, coach, she had 6 threes in the second quarter.
Wow.
I mean, it was, and Lone Peak led at the half. It was one of the most fun games I'd called in the first half in a long time. That girl plays unreal basketball. But I thought it was a great opportunity for Shawnee and for Tanuvasa. Katie Lawrence had a great first half in that game to just build their confidence. They lost that game. It was close as they were still trying to find themselves. There was a foul. But I thought it's built them for this year.
Yeah, I think you're on it. You got a good team back, like Coach Warner has. You go and play the best teams you can play and push yourself in preseason, and that's only going to make you better. And I think Corner Canyon did the same thing with the boys. I looked at their schedule. I'm like, man, I don't know if I've seen a team in Utah play a harder preseason schedule than Corner Canyon played. It's like up and down that thing is crazy. And the more you do that, the better. Now, Caitlin Clark, that's the probably the greatest college basketball player ever. That's a big statement.
Yeah. The next one, right? Because we go through the runs, right? When I was growing up, it was Cheryl Miller, and then we had Rebecca Lobo and Lisa Leslie, and then Shamika Holtzclaw, and then Maya, and you had a bunch of other great players. There's a traffic violation.
I like the Corner Canyon defense this quarter. They're getting up in passing lanes, they're being aggressive, and they've gotten beat on a back cutter too, but you can't necessarily back cut them forever. And I think definitely a good adjustment to come out and put a little pressure on Lone Peak and have created a couple turnovers in this second quarter.
Well, absolutely. Let's see if they can find some offenses. Maya Ray in the lane sends it to the corner.
Lone Peak back to going to a man. They got Naya on Mortensen.
So we have a 14 on the floor. There's not a 14 on the Corner Canyon roster. Let's hit up Mr. Corner Canyon, Rob Gertz, and find out who that is. As Mortensen steps back off the window, no. Rebound to Yeomans, who gets it off the window and in.
Hey, back to your trivia. And I'm here because Dane is recovering or, whatever Dane's doing. I'm telling you.
He's trying to get his voice back for Friday.
I don't want to offend the Corner Canyon faithful, but Corner Canyon didn't exist when Lone Peak had TJ Haas, Tyler Haas, Nick Emery, Talon Shumway,
Zach Frampton. Are you thinking of the 2013 team?
I don't know
Eric
who
Mika.
I'm thinking of. I'm just thinking of all those
all
teams
the players?
that beat me. Nate Austin,
Hamilton,
Justin Hamilton,
Josh Sharp,
Sharp, Bracken Funk,
Rios.
There was a Lindquist.
Yeah, there was a Lindquist, a couple Lindquist. Yeah, the Lindquist
so,
brothers.
You know what, Corner Canyon?
You went to the Pollard brothers.
Corner Canyon, you may have the series victory, but you weren't around when us Bengals were having to fight against some of these Lone Peak teams that were. I can't wait the answer though. I'm going to say Corner Canyon's got the season.
And it's a girls series.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, girls.
I was thinking
girls series.
Girls series.
Yeah, girls series.
Got to be Lone Peak in the girls series, right?
It's definitely, I think it's Lone Peak. And
Man, keep me on track.
The only years I
thought Dane was throwing one for me because I was here. Give me I don't know, girls.
No, Dane pre-wrote these. And look, and Kelby Miller's got his name on one of these. Here's the gift cards. I keep telling guys, like, hey, send me your address. We can take care. If you're in the building, we want you to come get your gift cards to Handel's Ice Cream. Have you been to Handel's?
Yeah, I've been to Handel's.
What's your favorite flavor?
You're reading all those promos of the nutrition stuff. Handel's and Arctic Circle. This is that I should be promoting.
Well, who am I? I mean, I'm saying NutriCost. I mean, I only put up the bench videos from time to time just to remind people that I'm not just the, I'm a glutton for lots of things, but I can still bench.
Hey, I tell you, I love Corner Canyon, what they've done. Come off, you get a slow start. It's really easy to let that, 14-0 become 30-4, and to be 21-9, 12 points, great fake handoff.
Oh, so Nielsen can't get down
and
to
go.
Still
in the game. That's a great job by the coaching staff, keeping them going. And
Katie Lawrence, nice move. Blocked away by Maya Ray. Coach, she had like 4 blocks on Monday night as Lawrence again comes away with the loose ball in the hands of Shawnee Nordstrom. Up top, Tanuvasa. Naya sends out Zuri Nordstrom. Sidewinding shot doesn't go, and it's Katie Lawrence in there for the loose ball. Woolston can't get it. Rebound shot, Zuri Nordstrom. Zuri just a freshman. And that ball popped out of bounds. Offensive rebounds. Really big here for Lone Peak. So
staying man here. They got Mortensen under the basket. It's a zone. That guard's got to get out.
Shawnee misses the three, and the rebound. Man, Yeoman's just getting hounded there by Zuri Nordstrom and Katie Lawrence. Lawrence gives up the foul.
So 21-9, 4 minutes to go in the second. The next 2-3 minutes is huge, Corner Canyon. They've got to find a couple baskets here. They've got the man defense to go against. Tanavasa's doing a good job on Mortensen.
Maya Ray online but short. Rebound out to Shawnee Nordstrom. Shawnee, that ball knocked out of bounds there by Mortensen.
Returning for the Knights, number 23, Lave.
Someone had an answer come in yet, but at least a shot at it to get a $10 gift card. We'll have a movie quote. Those come up spontaneously. We come up with a good movie quote or song.
So last night I watched Britney Spears' Crossroads with my wife on Netflix. So if it's one of those, I've got a chance. But I'm not a movie guy.
You're not a movie guy?
No, I told my wife last night, I go, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't sit here and just watch a movie. It's like, I just don't have the attention span for it. I was actually, while we were watching it on my phone, watching the 5A semifinals.
Yeah.
On mute, unfortunately, because of her wanting me to watch Britney Spears.
As Britney Spears, I've never seen that movie. So I'm impressed.
You're not missing a lot. Okay. You know,
but
Deep Dark Secret, I have that Spotify that you can listen to audio books now.
Yeah.
So I actually listened to her autobiography.
Britney Spears is about autobiography.
Yeah, it got me through my December film sessions as I had my earbuds in. Quite interesting. But let's get back to the game. We regress.
Looper to Mortensen. Alina Mortensen can't get that one.
I had a foul there. What'd you think?
We'll see on the replay. Usually, if I think it's a foul. Pretty good. As Woolston on the bump and the bucket. See, and I love they didn't call that. Regular season, that's an and one. And I love we've gotten to where that's not getting called a whole lot.
I don't know. I go foul. Both those.
You want too many whistles.
Hey, girl drives in there. There's contact.
Let's play on.
Nah, you gotta get a foul.
Let's not stop the game. We need flow in this broadcast. As down the lane. Nice pass. Yeomans can't complete it.
The problem is you let one go, then you let two go, and then you let three go, and then pretty soon it's
great.
Like, hey.
Shawnee Nordstrom knocks down the three, and they got it to 12. They push back up to 19. They being Corner Canyon.
Back to the zone. Coach Warner does a good job. Those wings are really high.
Yeah.
We tell our bottom wings, you got to get to that wing shooter.
As off the miss, here comes Tanuvasa. Naya crossover, sends out. The three on the way, and good. Lave Holdcraft, 4-3.
Yeah, probably got to get another timeout here and stop it and try to regroup the last 2 minutes.
Lave Holdcraft is a sophomore. We'll see how much they reload next year. When you lose someone like Shawnee Nordstrom and another like Naya Tanuvasa, it's hard to replace. But you'll bring back Kennedy Woolston, or you lose Sarah Bartholomew too.
We got about 3 girls on the bench. Where's their JV team?
They only have 9 players on their varsity roster. As there's a foul on the baseline. It'll be a baseline inbound for Corner Canyon. They don't bring the JV to the bench.
I mean, last night Olympus had 32 kids dressed. They were the chairs were going all the way around the arena.
You know, Matt.
A couple kids sitting in the back.
Matt's too nice.
They just got on the bus and put a shooting shirt on. They let him dress up. And
Maya Ray misses the first. We'll have one more. Maya Ray played her early years in high school at Juan Diego High School. You had you had the boys and girls come over. You had Noah Bendinger and Desiree come over to Corner Canyon. Now, granted, Juan Diego was in Draper. Sometimes you kind of forget that. Even me living in Draper, and I played at Juan Diego when I was in high school. But you kind of forget that it's in Draper since it's playing in 3A. You don't?
I mean, it's in Draper, but I'm not sure the rules say if you're in Draper at a school, you can go to another school in Draper, do they?
Yeah, of course it does. You have to live in the boundary.
It's true. They live in that Draper
And
boundary.
they say, hey, I'm not going to go to, I'm not going to stay at Juan Diego. You go to your home school.
Yeah, it's your home school, I think is the rule, right?
Right. Well, now, I mean, let's wait till halftime. I want to make sure we're on the same page as we go inbound. We don't need to just go over the realignment on the air. As a Rich and a jump ball. All I'll say is this, and we've asked a lot of people at the association, is it the state law says we're an open enrollment state. And they're like, we can't. So the stance has been, hey, we can't cap on open enrollment or transfers because it's a state law that they can choose where they want to go to school. We just have to find the best way to handle the movement.
Yeah. My take would be eliminate all the transfer rules and the undue influences and just let kids go where they want and let coaches interact how they want. And I think at this point, just opening everything up and would be a better model. Personal opinion.
I agree. Well, great. This would be a great halftime. As there's a foul, it'll be. This is what happens in a 21-point game. We're trying to keep it about the game, but it does go from place to place. As Lone Peak has been dominant here in the first half.
Yeah, they're going to be tough to beat. They are really impressive. They've got great ball movement. They play great defense.
Holdcraft, nice pass to Rich. That ball's out of bounds off of Corner Canyon. It'll be inbound along the baseline. So it'll be Katie Lawrence triggering as Woolston comes back on for Lave Holdcraft.
You know, a lot of people have gone to the 4 low out of bounds. I've seen more of that this year than any other year. And Lone Peak's no different there. Another good out of bounds play, wide open shot.
And Shawnee knocks it down. She was our impact player of the year a year ago.
Oh, great defense.
Comes away with the steal. Tanuvasa head to Shawnee Nordstrom. Ray got back. Nordstrom misses. Tipped out into the hands of Sorrell Nielsen with 5 seconds. 3 seconds. 2.
Great pass.
Looper with 1.
Oh, that's a foul.
And that will do it for the first half. Let's take one quick look at that last play.
I heard the slap from here, Dusty. I'm giving him 2 free throws.
Coach Garner's calling fouls on everything. You got to go to the half.
There's a reason I don't ref.
Lone Peak leads 33-10 as we go to the break. You're watching the 2024 6A semifinals on KSLSports.com. Presented by Heidemann Associates. Brought to you by NutriCost. We'll be back with the halftime performances. Back in the Huntsman Center, Dusty Lister, the coach Jeff Gardner, with you is Lone Peak with a 23-point lead on Corner Canyon. This was a region matchup until recently when Corner Canyon got moved to Region 2 as that ball goes out of bounds. And it'll go to the Chargers. But Corner Canyon went to Region 2. Lone Peak stayed in the Alpine region, also known as Region 3. So broke it up. Although the football teams will play next year at Lone Peak. Corner Canyon play Lone Peak and Skyridge this next year as Ray's shot does not go. Rebound to Bartholomew, and on the run, Woolston to Shawnee. Shawnee goes to pole, slapped away, and now Coach Garner got to love that call.
It's a foul. A foul's a foul. You know, I
That was on the wrist.
I didn't ever see a replay on that couple of those fouls, Vince. I think you're
It's on me.
a little slow to
I have it right here.
I really like just the composure to catch the ball, and then a hard jab and go middle. Anytime you can beat somebody middle, good things are going to happen. You just got so many options when you get to that middle area. And
very good free throw shooter, misses both free throws. And there's Maya Ray with the steal. What we saw on Monday, the athleticism of Maya Ray. Get the steal and the finish with Naya Tanuvasa with the contest at the rim.
I mean, Maya Ray, she's definitely making a case to be a first-team All-Stater the way she's played. She's been sensational this week.
And she truly has. Is up top with Kendi Woolston. Here's Sarah Bartholomew. Sarah in the paint, sends it to Shawnee. Shawnee back out. Sarah thought about the three, didn't pull on it.
Dusty, what percentage of threes are shot behind the college line?
I would say well over 50%. Is there? Kennedy Woolston buries one.
I'm just amazed at how many shots. If like you compare that to during the season, how many would be shot back there, and it's a huge difference. We would always paint 2 lines in practice just to tell our guys, like, hey, we can't be shooting every shot from the college line, especially now the college line's back further than it was even a couple of years ago.
It's closer to the NBA line. Is Naya Tanavasa on the reverse. And I think the interesting thing, Coach, is I think even in the regular season, I noticed it's still way back there. And when did you coaches become so lax on? Brock Miller couldn't have shot back there and allowed to stay in the game for you.
No. You know what? It's a different world out there. Us guys that grew up where we shot threes and our coach would plug their nose. I wish I lived in the era of, hey, shoot more threes. I never had a coach tell me to shoot more threes.
Right.
Just, hey, you got to throw it into that post guy more.
Well, I remember this Brighton coach once started kicking chairs and stuff because of three-point shooters.
And then you see Brock and Brandon Miller jump up and shoot them, and you're like, okay, yeah, you can shoot as many of those as you want. Just it's funny that with shooters, obviously a catch-shoot three, I think a lot of kids in Utah can make at a pretty consistent rate.
Right.
But you get someone off the move, off a dribble, and you can really see the really good shooters. The Taylor girl in the last game, she hit a couple threes on the move, and you're like, okay, that girl can really shoot it because those are tough shots.
Did you hear Coach McAllister give this stat? Maybe he didn't share it on air, that if you get a shooter in high school to dribble, his shooting percentage will go, let's say, 40 points, like a 70 to a 30%. With a dribble.
I wouldn't be surprised for sure.
Especially in Utah. It's funny, I had a coach from Texas. This was 2 years ago, and I actually reaffirmed it with him this year. And then he said, man, I'm really nervous to play against you guys as Nordstrom loses that, sends out to Tanavasa. And I go, why? He goes, because we don't shoot like you guys. He said, I'm not worried about your athletes. He said, obviously, we'll stay in front of you. He's like, but our guys don't know what it's like to have someone like you shoot on us. He goes, why? And I joked, and I'm actually serious, as Woolston pulls, misses on the three. He said, because I said, every church in the area, I said, even in Texas, there's a travel there on Kenzie Randall, but every church in the area has a full court gym in it, and we all grew up shooting. He goes, no way. I said, go to your local church, the LDS church in your area in Texas, in Dallas. As I promise you, there's a full court gym in there. He had no idea. As Nordstrom misses the three, rebound to Kaylee Rich. Zuri back up and in. The young freshman gets her first points in the semis.
Boy, Rich has been good. Just her hustle, getting the loose balls. Look at her on defense. She's in a stance. She's talking. She's impressive. Really impressive. I hope Doug Meacham's not listening. Doug, Dusty gave a great stat. That does not apply to Cooper Lewis. He's going to make shot after shot off the dribble. And you know what? It doesn't matter who you have out there. They're not going to block him. You could have a 6'8" guy. He's not going to block him. He can shoot that fadeaway with. So throw that out the window in the 840 game. But I totally agree for the most part.
Oh, nice hands by Zuri Nordstrom with the steal. Tanavasa ahead to Shawnee Nordstrom. Can't get it to go, and then the foul. Going to put her at the line. Cooper Lewis he's a different animal.
Cooper Lewis is he's off the charts. His ability to go create shots and to shoot it with range. The high release combination with range on a jump shot is as impressive as any kid we've had in Utah through these years. Like he's got that smooth release and boy, you better not sink back on him when he crosses those U's, because he's in range and he's really good. I think in sports we're way too negative. It's like every player that comes up, well, can he do this? Can he do that? And I tell everyone, hey, all I know is Cooper Lewis is as good of a guard as we've had in our region in these years.
Well, he's the best guard in the state as that shot goes up and off the rim and a rebound to Woolsey. He's the best guard in the state since Dallin Hall.
Yeah, I think that's a...
And Dallin's that ball goes out of bounds. Dallin's proven his wares pretty well. But Cooper...
They were different.
A totally different game.
Dallin was definitely a playmaker, but Dallin couldn't score like Cooper.
He's a driver.
Yeah.
Dallin was a driver, finished at the rim. He did shoot the threes, but just not the same array as Cooper. That's very true.
I mean, you get 47 points against AF, and I don't care what the context or how many shots or whatever. Like, you're a player.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's really good.
Zuri inside to Katie Lawrence. Lawrence missed it, gets her
Katie.
own board. Nearly got that to go. And the rebound taken by Sorrell Nielsen.
Katie's a great kid. She grew up playing soccer with my daughter, actually, and just a great athlete, comes from a great family. Her mom, Carrie, coached this group all through Bantam, and Carrie's one of the top senior golfers, and she won't want me to say senior golfers, but she's a really good golfer over at the Alpine Country Club. If you're ever over there, you'll see Carrie out. But Katie's just done a great job this year coming in with the girls that graduated, and Katie's just been seamless to, she played some minutes last year, but this year her role has increased, and she's been really good.
Carrie's a big fan of Rewind. She's always so complimentary when I see her at all the Lone Peak games. As that one's rattled in, Maya Ray hits them both. But a 42-18 lead to Lone Peak. Some games to steal a line from a great coach. And,
now, whoa. You got my line wrong.
Okay.
My daughter,
go.
Let's do this.
It's a good quote the way I gave it to you,
I wasn't watching when you talked about it.
But I did say I probably messed it up. I
you
paraphrased
messed it up. Yes,
Sometimes you're a hammer, sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail.
No, I never said that. Never said that. Go look at the paper. Pull it up, Vince. I said, sometimes you're the pigeon, sometimes you're the statue.
Well, that's not me. Look at a hammer and nail.
Tonight we were the statue. That was the line.
Okay, hammer and nail is a better line.
It was that. I'm not saying your line wasn't better. I'm just saying what I said. Sometimes you're the pigeon,
and sometimes you're the statue.
Tonight we were the statue. And
so you're now. I want to make sure the context is Sorrell Nielsen. Oh, gets that one and one. Don't tell me she didn't mean to do it. Doesn't matter. That's quite the highlight here from Sorrell Nielsen.
Number 23.
Oh, yeah, that was a sweet stroke.
Lavi
Holdcraft picks up the foul.
I love her high release on that jump shot. She gets that elbow up through the ball. And Rick Majerus used to always say, with a shooter, rotation, high release were two of the main ingredients to being a good shooter. And
Kinsey Randall, 14. Olivia Gleason.
Looking at his sweater right now. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it as well. You're watching the 6A semifinals. All right, welcome back in the Huntsman Center. Vince Francis, I got to come to us.
Oh, yeah, Vince.
Tonight I was the statue.
Vince, I'm telling you, there is no better producer on planet Earth.
As that ball was out of bounds off of Lone Peak and Lavi Holdcraft.
I'll tell you what.
That was good. I mean, this is why Vince and I've been saying we got to get better about our podcast and stuff. Vince is as good as Jamie on Joe Rogan. He's right up there. There's a steal, and it's Shawnee Nordstrom going the other way, laying it up and in.
Dusty, you're quickly learning I don't watch movies. I don't listen to podcasts. I'm a very boring human, and so I'm going to let that one go. I've got to tell you, though, what I do recognize is a team that could have really easily folded.
Right.
And could have really easily, multiple times in this game, just kind of let the tsunami take over. And this Corner Canyon team, I'm so impressed. Like, they won't quit. They're playing as hard now as they have the entire game. And I think that's a sign of a great coach. Sometimes you go out and, you take the whooping that was in store for you. But I think just their resiliency to continue to play is really impressive. And, the thing that's hard in these games is, this Lone Peak team this is a really good team. There's no holding your head if you're Corner Canyon. When a really good team plays really good, you're gonna be in trouble. And they're playing well. And so I'm just super impressed with this Corner Canyon group.
Yeah, ball tipped out. Katie Rich, rather, sends that out to Livingston, or pardon me, too. Man, I'm going to get all over the place. Me getting that quote wrong is really throwing me off. As we send this to Keithley Ridge, we have a foul on the floor before the shot.
Hey, Vince, Dusty bet me a Dr. Pepper on the last time I was on here. I do want
He wants scoring down.
I do want to see that scoring, 6A scoring now.
It's not on your
compared to
spreadsheet?
2 years ago.
You didn't have your scoring spreadsheet?
Jeez. I do have some spreadsheets that would blow your mind.
I know.
I'm sick. I'm a sick human.
He doesn't
need
listen
to find some hobbies. Need to start listening to some podcasts.
What you need to do is talk to Dane Stewart. You could join one of his full-time teams if you're really good at spreadsheets. As that shot doesn't go.
I would join Dane Stewart doing anything.
As
I'm telling you, I love Coach Warner. The fun thing with her, like, I watched her when she was at Springville, and I'm not gonna mention this. I shouldn't but when I was at Mountain View, we upset Lexi Eaton. Coach Blanchard, Andrew Blanchard, was coaching the girls. Led him to a state title, one of the great upsets. But the fun thing watching Coach Warner's team, it's like she's so innovative and like she's not stale at all. Like the way they play the game is cutting edge, innovative. Like that out of bounds play, getting her shooter back from the inbounds, which I think nowadays everyone's taking away the basket. Like, you've got to get your shooter back into play, and like she's just really impressive.
Well, she's part of
she does.
Basketball family. As that ball is up and in and one. Go ahead and put Kenzie Randall at the line. Nice play. But her father, Gary Celius, runs the camps for the Utah Jazz. Her brother, Zach, still a former Mr. Basketball, is still playing overseas. She has another younger brother that's also still involved in basketball. I mean, that's what the Celiuses do.
Yeah.
Her husband played football at BYU. Great guy.
Gary was on Mike Maxwell's staff forever up at Bountiful. We played him at the quarters. Would have been, I don't have your recall, even with my own teams, but maybe 2010. But I was actually at Mountain View.
Oh, Mountain View.
Yep.
Well, it could have been 010 then, because 10.
09, 08, 08, 08, 09.
Yeah.
09.
Who was the year that West Jordan won it? West Jordan and West?
It was the year, let's think. We got beat. It was the year West beat Provo in the finals.
Yeah, that was 2009.
One of the biggest upsets ever.
Yeah, Collinsworth and Davies.
Yep.
Wasn't I?
Tyrell Corbin.
Yeah, Tyrell Corbin.
So we were 4A, so 5A was Tyler and West Jordan. 4A, Provo was just
so good.
So good.
Take it away. Wipe it off, and they got us a charge.
There's your restricted circle.
We'll see if this. Oh, I had it.
I hit it twice. My problem, I know you love the restricted circle.
Yeah.
Here's my problem. Is we want the ref to be good enough to not only decide if the person's set, but now to decide if their feet's inside the circle. I don't know if that.
I'd rather that than them calling a charge underneath the backboard.
But here's what you got to see, and watch this in the boys' game. There are very few referees, and you won't see any tonight or Friday.
Oh, there's a loose ball, and taken by Yeomans, who lays it up and in. And then a full timeout to Coach Morris.
I had a good thought, too.
Go ahead. This is a Utah Facial Plastics timeout. We'll keep it here. I have we've already ran the ads I needed to run.
Okay,
They've got plenty of bonus. Go ahead.
Let's dive into this circle thing. You will not see now I get a little bit antsy when I see my face on there because I don't have the Botox that you're describing.
No, I look great.
People are like, he's bleak, Coach needs to go take care of himself. He's looking gray and old. Okay. You will not find a referee tonight or Friday that will call a charge inside the circle. Guaranteed. The good referees don't call it a charge. They'll call it a block. So even though we don't have a circle, we do, because the good referees won't call a charge under there. I've seen it all year on film and our games. Like, Courtney Littledyke's not going to go get a little guy taking a charge under the hoop. It's going to be an and one. So I agree. If I was actually put in charge, hey, coach, give us one thing you want to change in basketball, I would do everything I could to get rid of flopping and charging.
Oh, 100%.
I would tell the defense, don't fall down, stay up. You fall down, we're not calling a charge.
Yep.
you know, like
That's
the
why I got bad in
referee.
the Skyridge Syracuse game.
Yeah, like the referee, if he's like, oh man, that girl threw her elbow and then call an offensive foul. But the whole like guys coming in and people falling down and taking charges, I think the sooner we get rid of that, the better.
Yep.
And then the head
flop.
head flopping.
The Preston Sanchez move.
We got it. I love Preston Sanchez.
I do too.
We have got to get rid of that. Like, and you know, until we get rid of it, the good players are going to do it, and I would do it if I was a player.
Steve Nash started it. And it just got bigger. And Preston Sanchez grew his hair out to make it even better. I brought it up to him once.
One of my favorite Preston Sanchez moments, it was a play-in game. Vince is going to cut my mic, so this will be my last story. But Preston Sanchez, it's a play-in game. It's West Jordan, Copper Hills. Preston was a freshman, and it's a made basket inside of a minute.
I did this game.
And you're all in. You get this concept, like the clock doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So, but Copper Hills throws the ball in, and Preston's doing the just let the ball like bounce and roll, like that the clock stopped, like that he's saving time. But really, he's just letting precious seconds go off the clock while he's just waiting. And Andrew Blanchard is hopping and jumping and screaming that this is not the NBA. Pick up the ball. And they lost 5 seconds. I think they lost the game. And then Preston didn't lose many games. It was a sophomore, junior, senior.
It was a playing game at Jordan High School.
Jordan High with West Jordan, right?
We did that. Yeah, we did that that game on Rewind, high school Rewind back then, on a different platform that we won't talk about. As the inbound along the baseline.
It's a good call right there. Definitely thought.
The only last thing I have is that, and you don't do enough. You don't go to enough Region 1 games. I don't know what it is about Region 1. I call it the Region 1 special.
I don't go to any Region 1 games.
Well, Randy McAllister lived in those Region 1 gyms. But you always had one. There's always one underneath the hoop. It drives me, and it's usually a pass and crash. It drives me absolutely nuts. That's why I don't want it.
I'm with you. I think stay on your feet. The one that drives me nuts is when the post guy turns around and then the guy falls down.
And you can see it coming from miles away.
Yeah.
You know it's coming.
Like, how do you call that? How do you decide whether it's
give it to the kid? That's what makes you bad too. As goes 1 of 2, 48-30, 2-1. Woolston at the horn. No, he's saying 2.
Yeah,
Kennedy Woolston.
Definitely a 2.
I think, well.
Definitely a 2.
Oh, let's play this one more time. I thought she's behind it. She's not behind it? No.
I saw it too.
At the end of 3, we go. It's Lone Peak 50, Corner Canyon 30, winner. Oh, let's look one more time.
Right. Although Lynn Hone had a good look at it, and he thought it was a 3.
He thought it was a 3. I thought she was back behind it, but we'll see. 50-30, we go to the fourth quarter. Lone Peak looking to go back for the third straight time of the 6A state championship game. You're watching the 6A semifinals on KSLSports.com. Welcome back in, Dusty Litster, the coach Jeff Gardner. And a near steal as Maya Ray knocks it out. Let's refresh on the our trivia question. Oh, yeah, that Lone Peak and Corner Canyon has been quite the rivalry in other sports. But what is the record in girls basketball? Was it the record?
I'm saying Lone Peak's won 90% of them, 9-1.
That sounds about right. As Sarah Bartholomew,
and I think Sarah Bartholomew is undefeated because I don't think
they've lost.
They've lost since Sarah's been roaming the paint. One of my assistant coaches, Bill Snowdy.
Oh, nice shot.
Is neighbors, just moved into a new house. Is neighbors with Bartholomew and says she is just the best kid and just a really, really gifted young lady. And
well, he don't gifted posts. This son was pretty doggone good.
Yep, Trevin Snowdy was one of the best.
Turn that one over. Mortensen with the loose ball, now on the run.
Oh, what a pass.
Tight fit there from Maya Ray. Just couldn't get the catch and put it up and in.
Whose fault do you think, who do you get mad at, the passer or the receiver on that?
Receiver. Lone Peak gets the record, 9-0. I was about to say either 9-0 or 10-0.
I thought 9-1, Vince. I thought we had an upset.
Yeah, you had that. So 9-0.
As
nobody
a coach,
gave us the answer.
I always yell at the passer.
The passer?
Yep. because I'm like, hey, you better know that they can catch it. Like if they can't catch it, it's your fault.
Well, my
Like,
thing is, my go back is goes then.
and my passer's like, what are you talking about? It was a perfect pass. I'm like, well, they didn't catch it, so it wasn't a perfect pass.
You sound like Lou Holtz. You heard Lou Holtz. You shouldn't throw it to him.
You should.
You know he can't catch
You know
the
what?
ball.
Let me tell you, Tony Parks
Yeah.
is my guy, and he does the
He
best.
does best.
Lou Holtz. It's just, I love Tony Parks.
And, you know, it's one of my favorite ones is there's a little jumper and won't go for Sherrill Nielsen. In 2009, I had the distinct honor, and I mean this, honor, as they lob that in to Sarah Bartholomew, who lays it up and in. And in that year, we were doing BYU and Utah coverage along with high school coverage. I had a chance to have a sit-down interview. We were with him for an hour with Bobby Bowden.
Oh, wow.
As Maya Ray has that one blocked away. And now on the run, Naya Tanuvasa.
Do you think Naya, like, does she even break a sweat? Like, the game looks so easy for her. Any sport she plays, it's like she is so just smooth and gifted with her athleticism and her feel, and like she's always in the right spot. Like, just right there, bam, rebound, here she comes, makes the right pass.
Shawnee Nordstrom lays it up and in.
I really wish Skyridge would have got another crack at Lone Peak, and our Cambry Blackham and Shea Toole are a couple seniors that have just been the heart and soul of this Skyridge team for the last few years, and it would have been fun to see a Region 3 rematch, but obviously Copper Hills is deserving the #1 seed. And
well, they knocked off Lone Peak as Woolston hits the three. Another one for Kendi Woolston. But the finish at the end of 09, so I had the opportunity to sit down with Bobby Bowden for an hour, which is an experience I will never forget. That was amazing. But I then ended the year at the Las Vegas Bowl and met Lou Holtz, who called that game.
Oh, wow.
Got to meet Lou, got a picture with Lou.
Wow.
He was so nice. He couldn't have been nicer. Amazing.
That makes me happy, because you always worry that you're going to hear you met someone that you always respected and then they were a jerk, and you're like, dang.
Yeah, my other favorite one was before the Las Vegas Bowl, BYU Utah in 2015. I watched Brent Musburger fill out his betting card. I kid you not, Coach. There's things I get excited for, but I got to meet Brent Musburger, which is a thrill. But then I watched him fill it out and hand it to his guy to go place him.
You got your parlay. You got your Musburger parlay. Did you take the parlay, or
I didn't get to see it. I watched him do it. I didn't get to see what he picked. As there's a take by Woolston. Had Kennedy having an outstanding game.
I hope Brent went 10 of the hardest picks you could get and went for that 20,000 to 1 payout. I really hope that's what happened.
His network's doing very well. Vice Vissen is a nice take. Can't get it.
The Broncos network, I'm sure, is doing well too. I don't have any numbers on that.
But Brent's not with the Raiders anymore. But
is he not?
No, Vissen. No, he's not. He turned it over because he wanted to focus on Vissen. He wanted to help bridge the gap because Greg Papa wasn't coming from Oakland. He's now the voice of the 49ers. And he wanted to bridge the gap of the move to Vegas. He did it for the first 2 years and then turned it over. But he owns a network called the Vissen Network.
Interesting. How old is Brent Musburger? Is he in his 80s?
He's in his 80s, yeah. It's a nice take and make by Kendi Woolston. They just did the whole thing on him in the Football Today. It was great. But
here's the tough thing. The tough thing is going to be Lone Peak's only got 9 girls. So you can't put your sophomore team in right now. So you got Corner Canyon out here with a lot of the backups in. And it's hard to keep the onslaught when you don't have a second group.
Beautiful take and make by Kate Leroy. And Kate Leroy will go to the line looking for the and one.
You know what? What a shout out to Corner Canyon, though. You get to the semifinals with the big upset yesterday. Davis was one of the top teams. I watched them play Skyridge last year. I know they had a punch back, and you get to the semifinals, that's big time. And these girls and coaches should be really proud of the season they had, and just like I said, their fight and their ability to come out and continue to work has been impressive.
Absolutely. As Kaylee Rich gets that one out and send it outlaw, they hold Kraft short on the 3. But it's absolutely the truth, especially where this program has been the last couple of years. They've been building towards something with Mortensen and others, as Rich can't get that one. If they played multiple years as youngsters, and Rich turns that one over. I know she's frustrated at the call, but it's also 63-35 with inside of 3.5 left in the fourth. As we're going to have a timeout. Utah Facial Plastics timeout again, as we always talk about. You look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. Same thing with everything else. And we always think cosmetic surgery is only about making you look better. Look, if you've got sleep apnea, like some people do, maybe you have a deviated septum, you need a plastic surgeon to do that rhinoplasty surgery. Go to our friends at Utah Facial Plastics. Call 801-960-3137. A state-of-the-art facility in Draper. It's a brand new facility, only a couple years old, off of 7th East and 123rd South. You turn left if you're heading east. Beautiful new area. In fact, even your surgery can be done there too. It's absolutely gorgeous. Also have a facility in Layton as well. They call 801-960-3137. And if you get on the books of Doug Henstrom, tell him that his nephew Dusty says hello. Doug's one of the best. He's taking care of Dane right now. It's how Dane's getting his voice back because Doug's taking care of him.
I feel small sitting here for Dane today. But Dane, if you're listening, this is what you get for not coming to Skyridge this year. You come to Skyridge every year. What's going on, man? Are we have some beef going on or what? I can't believe you didn't show up to any Skyridge games.
He's gonna blame me.
Kept sending Alex. I love Alex, by the way.
So I
love Alex. But come on, Dane.
I schedule all the broadcasters. I schedule every one of those broadcasters. That's why you get Alex Napolis, you get Alex Tumlip, you've got Mike Goodkind, who your fans love that he was there.
You've got a great crew.
Missouri misses. Mike Goodkind is the in-arena host at Utah Jazz games. So anybody who's been at Jazz games, I heard about all the students want to take pictures of Mike Goodkind.
Yep. Totally.
Plus,
they were talking about that with the Jazz, and I didn't know quite what they were talking about. But
so in between timeouts and stuff, if you've been to a Bees game, Tony does it, right? With the Bees River. That's what he does for the Jazz. So
is
timeouts
he the blonde hair guy, kind of the
Mike
long,
Goodkind?
wavy hair?
No. He
used to do it, right? The Phillips 66. He'd get on there, start chucking little balls out.
Yeah,
of the
that was
crowd.
different like that. Yeah, I'll show you Mike Goodkind. Mike Goodkind is he's a. What's it say for the lady folk? Your wife. I wouldn't be looking at his Instagram. As he's easy on the eyes, Mike Goodkind, and he's got a voice that just makes them feel good.
Hey, have you checked out my wife on? Okay, yeah, you're not lying. He's a good-looking guy. My wife, she owns a clothing boutique.
Oh, she does?
Modest Molly, and she does these dances, these TikToks, and some of these TikToks have got millions of views, and she's not a dancer, but does a really good job. So she knows all the online people, so I'm sure she's probably already following Goodkind.
There's a three as Kate Leroy knocks that one down.
That was a great shot by Kate, just confident, and got her feet set and knocked it in.
Zuri loses the handle. Loose ball picked up by Alexi Leroy. But yeah, we had a great crew go through your school, and we tried to do that. So, but that's why Dane. But Dane does assign his own games. If Dane wants a game, he takes it, and then I assign the rest of them. But
so Dane didn't want any of our games. This is coming into focus. All right, Dane.
But Dane usually goes like, I want to go off being passed. Now, he didn't do probably like 1 or 2 Alta games. I take all the Lone Peak games just simply because it's a doubleheader, and it's hard for me to ask guys.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to call 2 games. There's a lot of people who can't. Skyridge Westlake.
Okay, I apologize.
You just didn't come to Skyridge. I didn't come to Skyridge this year.
So we were 1-0 in region with Dane there. That's good to know.
So now, Dane, why don't you do more?
Yeah, let's put you on the schedule next year, Dane. Come watch Jordan Kohler led the state in rebounding this year. Junior. Going to be a stud.
Gleason with the rebound. Thanks to Rob Gertzen getting me the name for Liv Gleason. The ball popped down here, Leroy. Jordan Kohler is an absolute star. I'm so excited to watch his development into another year. Is on the drive, a foul. Going to put Addie Hamilton at the line.
Yeah, Jordan had a big year, and he's a great kid, great player. We're just ecstatic for his development and what he did this year.
With what we saw with Tanya Voss, I say she's probably the most improved player from last year to this year, because she was already at a high level last year. She even went up another level. I felt the same way with Jordan. I'm so excited to watch his senior year, what that's going to look like.
Yep, I think it's going to be, his trajectory is awesome, and he's a hard worker, and those hard workers get better, and that's the the great thing about Jordan is that kid's got a motor and a desire to get after it.
As Lone Peak just semantics with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. Going to go back to the state championship for the third year in a row and a chance to avenge one of their 2 in-state losses this year. They don't get a chance to get Ridgeline. Ridgeline is in the 4A championship game. Emily Skinner, who is an outstanding player, leading her Riverhawks to the championship game, and now they lost to Copper Hills in December. Now get a chance to avenge that loss.
Did they have a couple girls out, or was it a full roster?
Full roster, and that it was just a mode where Lone Peak had not played well. Well, I shouldn't say play. They played really tough teams. They played Monterey, and they played a couple of out-of-state teams, and then had that Copper Hills game around Christmas. And Copper Hills just flexed their muscle, and they were long, as you saw, athletic, and just played really well and took care of that ball game. It was a low-scoring game under 50s, if I remember right. As Katie Lawrence,
it's getting a little wild out here.
Yeah,
a little bit wild.
But they'll have a chance to avenge that loss. It was their first loss against a 6A team.
What time's the tip on Friday?
I want to say,
because they've got to be going. They got to get 4 games in. They got to be going fairly early, I would think, right?
Well, it's different. As we'll get that for here momentarily. 10 seconds
Friday?
left.
It's
Friday.
It's
boys? Friday, yes. Friday is there. 4 seconds, 3, 2, and 1 on the shot clock. Get that off, and that is a shot clock violation.
I got yelled at in California before we had a shot clock. Our kid shot one like that and made it. And after the game, the coach chewed me out that I should have taken a shot clock violation. But then the funny thing is, his assistant was like, "Nah, don't listen to him. Shoot the ball."
That shot is off the mark, and Lone Peak going back to the 6A title game for the 3rd year in a row. It is their 2nd win on this floor in the semifinals. They beat Harriman here when Ika hit a shot at the horn to win that one. And they'll go back at a chance to get the three-peat as they get a win 63-40 over Corner Canyon. And their game will be Friday at 1:30 right here on KSLSports.com as they'll take on the Copper Hills Grizzlies. As Coach, give us a couple of final thoughts. Kenzie Valentine will have our post-game interview, but Coach, kind of final thoughts what we saw today.
You know what? This Lone Peak team's super impressive. They're going to be very tough to beat. Congratulations, Coach Warner and her team. Corner Canyon, I was impressed with their fight and what they accomplished this year. Nothing to hang your head out tonight with the way Lone Peak played.
Corner Canyon did play valiantly today, just did not have enough to knock off this Lone Peak team. And after they're done doing the fight song, we'll have a chance to get the interview with Kenzie Valentine. But a great year for Coach Nancy Warner and the Knights. We were talking about at the beginning that it wasn't the type of year you expected from Lone Peak, especially after last year. But graduating Kaylee, graduating Ika changes some things. There's a lot of leadership and offense that goes away. And this crew, it took them a little bit. They're able to figure it out. And we got players like Naya Tanuvasa and Shani Nordstrom. It certainly gives you an opportunity to figure things out, get better, and continue to move on as they went 10-0 through region play and now on their way to the 6A state championship.
Who's she going to choose? They were all to the game.
Yeah.
I thought you could have chose 5 of those girls today.
We'll have Shani Nordstrom joining Kenzie Valentine. Go ahead, Kenzie.
Shani, you played great. Congrats on the win. You guys came out on fire during your first quarter with only 4 points allowed from your opponent. What was the mindset heading into this game?
I think, obviously maintaining being at the top is really hard, but we just played with a lot of fight out there like we did in the Layton game. I mean, the Westlake game was kind of tight, and we're like, that's not happening again. So we played it with a lot of fight this game.
Yeah, I could tell that you guys definitely had a lot of emotion today. You are heading to the state finals for the 3rd year in a row. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. And it just feels amazing to do it with my teammates again and finish out my senior year this way. So
you'll face Copper Hills in the championship game. Copper Hills was one of your only losses from this season from back in December. It should be an exciting matchup. How will you prepare for that game?
I think just going back to practice tomorrow and honing in on what coaches have to say and then following game plan and executing everything we have to do. So,
absolutely. And is it exciting for you to share a championship game with your younger sister, Zuri?
Yes, it is. It is amazing.
Good. Congrats on the win, and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you so much.
Good job, Kenzie. Thank you to Shawnee Nordstrom. And thank you to Coach Gardner helping me out with Dane Stewart resting his voice. He'll be back on Friday. But our final score, Lone Peak 63, Corner Canyon 40. Your Heidemann Associates Player of the Game, Shawnee Nordstrom. For Coach Jeff Gardner, Kenzie Valentine, Austin Bigelow, Vince Francis, I'm Dusty Lidster. Thanks for joining us and for watching KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of the 2024 6A State Tournament. Lone Peak heading back to the championship game for the third year in a row. Congratulations to Coach Morris and the Chargers on a great year. But it's Lone Peak versus Copper Hills. We'll have that for you right here on Friday at 1:30 on KSLSports.com. We'll take a break when we come back. It'll be the boys semifinals coming up next right here on KSLSports.com, your online home for state championships.